This is actually take 3 of the beginning of part 2 of what sold in August. So, if you'll remember, we were looking at I think it was a pair of shoes. That part is in my past. Welcome back. This is part 2 of what sold on Poshmark and eBay at the beginning of August. Thank you for watching.
Here's a Tove & Co. 100% organic cotton popover blouse. I paid $4.99. I listed it for $24 in April, and that's what it sold for. So my net was $17.03. Oh, sorry about that. Soma is sold on Poshmark. Soma, women's, new with tags, camellia lace pajama pants with a wide leg. And so this shows, again, the elastic waist and the hem, which you can see how wide it is. Because, again, this photo, I know that's what it would look like hanging on a hanger in the store. But that's just, if you go looking for pants, my photo is going to stand out as looking different from everything else on the page. So I'm just really liking the results. Here's Soma's label. I got it because it was new with tags. If it's very striking Soma piece, you might get something for it. It's not cheap in the store, but it's pretty saturated. So these were, the retail was $48, and I sold them for $21. Net profit, $12.79. Next item was on eBay. Let's see where we are. Are we all the way up to the 9th of August? Move it, Heidi, move it. You got another week to go. These are Levi's Made and Crafted. Got them in a thread-up box. They're the draft wide taper. So here's the black label, and it says Made and Crafted, but you can barely read it. And then inside, it says Made and Crafted Levi's. See that? So those are kind of extra special made. These were factory distressed with a blown out knee. And I showed that they have a pretty narrow taper. And then they had some distressing. Made and crafted. So Levi's made them that way. Okay. Listed them for $49 back in April, and I took an offer of $40. So my net on everything. Okay. Let me talk real quickly about shipping. On anything over a pound, I use calculated shipping, ground advantage, or priority. The buyer can choose. The buyer chose standard shipping, which is ground advantage. And I don't pass along my shipping discount, so I pay less for labels than the buyer does on calculated. It used to be that for items over a pound, I used Parcel Select or priority. And what's interesting is we did not get an eBay discount on Parcel Select labels. So if it came out to $7.65, that's what the buyer paid, and that's what I paid. With Ground Advantage, we do get a discount, and it's substantial. And sometimes on heavier items that are like 2 pounds, the buyer might be paying 11 something, and I might be paying $3. And I used to make sometimes $1 on shipping, but now sometimes I'm making $3 or $4 on shipping. So that's great that we get a discount, but I think it's too much of a disparity, and I don't want it to cost my buyers too much, so it discourages them from buying from me. So I went in and modified my shipping preferences. This is in preferences for shipping. And I decided to give a 15% discount on shipping to my buyers for calculated. I only use calculated when it's over a pound. They have a choice of priority or Parcel Select. And I get a substantial discount on Parcel Select and a good discount on priority. So I can afford to give 10% off. I'm getting like 30% off. So I'm giving them 10 or 15%. I forget which I did. So it'll make their shipping a little cheaper, and I'll still make money. And that's new since the change in shipping. Ground Advantage, we do get a discount as sellers. Under the old Parcel Select, we did not. So that is why on these, for example, on a $40 sale, my net was $33 because I made $4 or $5 on shipping. Okay? So, onward. This was a great sale. This is Title IX, which is a brand I love. And this is a merino wool skirt, half merino, half polyester. It's a mini skirt made out of wool. And I guess if you were, I don't know, cute après ski out on the slopes and you had your leggings on and you just pulled on this cute little wool skirt, bun warmer, or you were a skater or a runner and wanted to keep your tush warm in the winter, you could pull on this merino wool skirt. I don't see any other use for it, but please do share. There are down mini skirts that you can buy from a company called Shoop. Anyway, if you ever see that one, scoop them up. What is the name of it? Scoop. I've sold a bunch of pieces. It's great. They make down mini skirts, but this was a wool one. I paid $2.99 for it, and I sold it for full price of $35 in about 3 months. My net profit was $25.14. So some Title IX stuff is great. Plain t-shirts, sometimes I leave them behind. But if it's merino, then please do get it. Here's a Free People top, one of my very few winners of Free People. Paid $4.72 for this in July. I listed it for $49. It's the Celine sequin tee. It's a washed black, but it has sequins all over the sleeves. And I got some very low offers right away, but I just sat tight for a couple weeks. Sold it for $49, full price. It even had a tiny mend on the back, but with a grungy shirt like this, how would you know it was tiny? So I think you know what Free People looks like. There's the Free People metal band and the little ribbon. Okay, so the Celine, there are a bunch of these for sale and a bunch sold. So if you see that one, I would get it. They're still very popular. Next, back on Poshmark. This was came in a thread-up box, paid $4.20 for it. I do not buy Banana Republic in any way, shape, or form at all anymore. But here's the label if you need to see it. It's the Heritage Collection, a merino wool blend sweater. It sold, I got that in February, so it took 6 months to sell for $20. My net, $11.80. Nike Golf Skirt. That was, I paid $3.37 for it. I took it out for $15. And my net profit was $9.94. Nike Golf. Nike Golf jackets, full zip jackets. I really enjoy getting those. The skirts don't get as much, but Nike Golf Tour Performance. It sold quickly, and I made some money. Vintage Pendleton high-waisted trousers, extra small petite. I think I sold these twice, and I took a $15 offer because they're tiny. They are navy blue, high-waist pleated vintage pants with a taper. Very trendy for made in USA, so these are probably 80s, I'm guessing, by the shape of them. But I finally sold them for $15. I am just really, really strict with myself about vintage. Tommy Bahama. Here's a classic hibiscus Hawaiian shirt, right? No, are those lilies? I don't know what they are. Men's silk camp shirt. This came in a thread-up box. I paid $4.70 for it. Ordinarily, I would not get that. But it's Tommy Bahama. It's silk. Took an offer of $19. My net after all costs, $11.84. So this was interesting. It's Talbots, and it's vintage Talbots. There's the vintage Talbots tag. But it was a maxi skirt. It was paisley, and it was wool and silk. I had to get it. I paid $3.99 for it in April, and I sold it for $20. My net profit after all was $12.01. So, would you have picked that up? Silken, whoa, come on, fully lined. I put dark academia on it. Not sure if they were paisley on the academia dark world, but Twillery untuckable. This took way too long to sell. These are quite popular and expensive in the original market, but I didn't do that great with it. Where is it? I can't even, oh, on my sheet, here we go. I paid $4.31 for it in November of last year. So by untuckable, they mean it's one of those shirts with no tails, so you can leave it hanging out and not look like a doofus or have your mother yell at you. But unfortunately, it took almost a year to sell, and I sold for $23. My net after all was $14.09. Not a bad profit, it just took too long. Men's button-up shirts are just so dangerous. Here was an interesting one, a Zara linen blazer, extra large. I got it, Zara is a tough sell for me, but it was new with tags, it was an extra large, and it was a linen blazer. I paid $4.99 for it and sold it for $29 in about a month. It's just an open front blazer. My net profit after all was $23.52. So I would do that again. If it wasn't new, I would have to pay a lot less. I have sold very little Lily Pulitzer, but I did find 2 pieces in one day back in May. And the first one was a dress, which sold for like $45 or $50. And this is called the Gaby or Gaby pullover hoodie. The print is Psychedelic Sunshine, if you want to know that. And I sold it for $35. I paid $3.74, so my net profit was $24.26. I get almost all Lily Pulitzer that I find. I just don't find it very often. Here is a swimming suit from Ralph Lauren. I thought it was very cute, one-piece halter with a ruffle. I paid $4.34 for it back in June, and I'm sure I listed it for $25, and I sold it for $21. And I thought it was really cute, paisley. This was belonged to my granddaughter, so she's going to get the $27.20 profit. It was a campus backpack that she bought on Amazon, and it sold in about a week for $34. All my pages are messed up here. This is a Beach Lunch Lounge flannel. I got it at the outlet. Otherwise, I would not have picked it up. Poshmark, Beach Lunch Lounge, yeah. I got it for $1.17 at the outlet. I sold it for $17, and it took, was from March, so 5 months. And my net profit on after all was $12.43. So I do pick up Beach Lunch Lounge if it's got to be more than basic. And a lot of Beach Lunch Lounge is very basic. But this was a flannel, and it was $1. So I said yes to it. This was fun. I found this hanging on a peg somewhere. My Goodwills don't have a hat section. They just stick them on pegs at the ends of rows. And I picked it up, and I thought it was more substantial than most straw hats that I see. And I looked inside and saw Scala from the Dorfman Pacific Company. Dorfman Pacific has a lot of different brands of hats. And this is the Scala raffia hat. And I found out it was called the Driver. And it was a large, extra large, and it was in beautiful shape. So hats are always cheap in my Goodwills, $1.50 for this one. And I listed it July 31st, so took less than 2 weeks. And I took an offer of $25. Net profit after everything, $18.50. So look for Dorfman Pacific hats. Okay, here's the other sad Adriana Goldschmied pants. Remember I found 2 in one day? Well, I got 2 offers on Poshmark for these pants within minutes of each other. And I went to verify that I would end the listing on eBay, which I always do first. And then I went back to accept the offer, and I didn't accept the $26 offer. I accepted the $12 offer. So my tip for you there is, if you do pick up AG men's pants, you can get more than $12 for them. Don't use that. So now sometimes when you look at low comps, you think, why did they sell that so low? Because sometimes they're just idiots. So that was sad. I want to move on. Nike Golf polo shirt. Came in a thread-up men's box. I paid $337 for it, so it must have been in my big 100-pound box. I took an offer of $13, and my profit was $668. That was my last Poshmark sale for that period, the 12th. I did then sell a bunch more on eBay. Let's do them quickly. This was a bundle. This Bell Point cardigan. Bell Point, it's nothing. I just got it because it had those amazing buttons. And then the buyer also bought this Victoria's Secret sleep shirt and this little Y2K Tommy Hilfiger purse that I got from thredUP. And so that whole bundle sold for $41.32. So divide that by 3 items and $17 a piece. My net profit on all of them was $22.81. They were all items from 2 or 3 years ago, no, 1 or 2 years ago. So I was happy to accept the offer. And they also got a shipping refund because they paid shipping on each item. And once I put them all in one package and did the label, then I sent them back a refund. And they contacted me and asked if I would do that. And I said, of course. Ralph Lauren, I found 4 Ralph Lauren shirts that were all extra large tall one day, and I paid $4.99 for them. This one is a beautiful tartan button down. It's not polo or anything else. It's genuine Ralph Lauren. And extra large tall is always going to help you sell something. Sold for $24.99, net profit $13.84. So, and this is how I do show a picture of a shirt like this, but I really like this better. It shows the collar, it shows the print, and it shows the cuff style. So all the important features. I want my pictures of ordinary stuff. All the shirts on the page look like that, but mine looks different. So I appreciate hearing what you think about my shirt and pant ideas. This was another one of the Fossil purses that was in that thredUP purse box. I had listed this for a long time for $49.99. I took an offer of $25. My net profit was $13.84. I've had these since March, so move them out. Juicy Couture velour track jacket in Barbie pink. I had that listed for about 3 weeks, and I took an offer of $25. Net profit $16.21. Racing to the end here. We can make it, kids. This was, I don't know why I bought this. Oh, I paid $2.50 for it, so that's why. It was probably half price day, and it was $5.99. I just thought it was interesting. Let me show you the label. Ungaro Solo Donna, made in Italy. So would you have looked that up? And I probably looked it up and found not much information. And I knew it was a wool blend, but there was nothing to tell me that. And I thought, oh, I can probably sell that to somebody for dark academia. Well, no. It took over a year. I took an offer of $18. My profit was $12.80. It just took too long. It's too out of fashion. Somebody liked it. Go for it. So this I picked. I don't get denim 24/7. This came to me floating by in the bin at the Goodwill outlet, and because it had this embroidery all over the back. Where's the back? There we go. Embroidery all over the back. It was a size 22W, and it was at the outlet, so I paid $1.25. That was my average cost of goods that day. I took an offer of $21.99. My net profit $16.27. So the brand, Denim 24/7, means nothing. There it is. But the size and the embroidery and the low cost of goods made that a winner for me. Here is, now when I used to have to wear suits and jackets and so on to the office, Jones New York was a brand that I liked because in general their styles would be a little more trendy and not plain like this one is. This is just a plain blue linen blazer, but I like Jones New York and it fit me pretty well. And when Penny's would have great sales, it wasn't too costly and it was good quality. So, but I don't pick up Jones New York to resell. It just doesn't fetch good prices. But this is another example of sometimes you make a case for it. This was, I got it for $4. It's new with tags. The size is 18W, and it's a classic navy blazer with gold buttons, which everybody should have. And so I listed it for $40 in June, and it sold for $30. And so my net profit was $18.30. So new with tags can sometimes, and a great size and a classic style, it sometimes works out. I could just as easily have been sitting on that for a long time, but this was a belt. Belts and hats are always cheap at my thrift stores. I paid $2 for this. It's White House Black Market. It's faux snake, but genuine suede strap. Purple, wide. I sold this for $19. My total net was $12.73. So for belts, I look for, if it's a plain belt, I look for an amazing buckle. Leather, always leather. So a plain leather belt has to have an amazing buckle, whether that's Southwest or big rings or, you know what I mean, an amazing buckle. And then if it's a fashion belt, not a plain leather belt, then it should be dramatic. That could make an outfit, like a statement belt. And this is definitely that. Very wide, purple, snake, everything. And it was branded White House Black Market, and I had the size. So very easy to sell that. $19. I love picking up belts. This is an Athleta Laser Run, named Laser Run because it's got these laser cuts at the bottom. It's a tennis skirt, or running, or golf, but it's a skirt. There's the brand Athleta. I picked this up in January for $4.99. I took an offer of $25. My net was $16.93. I love to sell Athleta. Sometimes even very old stuff. London Fog. I didn't even remember to make a white picture for this one. London Fog is not a brand I ever get. I'll tell you why I got this one. It was down, and it was ultralight packable down. If this had been a 80s London Fog puffy down coat with an old out-of-date style, I would not have gotten it. But it looks modern. It's super scrunchy. You can make it up into a small package and lightweight. I got a good price on it. I paid $3.74. Listed it for $30 and accepted an offer of $24. So my net profit $17.98 on a down jacket in August. I think that's pretty good. But I'm not recommending London Fog to you, but sometimes any brand will sell in an ultra light weight packable down coat. This was a coat too, not a jacket. My second time getting Vionic. This pair sold, the other pair is not sold. I got these Brinkley leather booties in a size 9.5. They are pretty, I cleaned them and they're still pretty grubby around the edges. See that? You can see the grubbiness. And I scrubbed them. It just had a material that was hard to, so I said the sidewalls need a scrub. I paid $3.75 for them and I accepted an offer of $30. My net after all, $19.65. Last item, thank you for hanging out this long as the other Ministry of Supply shirt. This one sold for $20. My net profit $8.52, and that's all from December. So 4 Ministry of Supply shirts over all that time. Let me just wrap up real quickly. My total sales on Poshmark for the month were $588 for 21 items. Average sale price $28. My so 588 was the sales price. Of that, I got to keep $373 after Poshmark fees and cost of goods. So I kept 63% of my sales from Poshmark. That's pretty good. Better than most retail. eBay, total sales $1,100.47 for 15 days. $25 ASP. And I got to keep 65% of my sales from, if I took my total order minus $714, which was my nets. So Poshmark was about, half as many sales and a little more than half as many dollars. Poshmark is doing great for me compared to what it did for the first 5 years I was on it, because I have Posher VA and it shares my closet for me as I have it set up on a schedule. It sends offers, which I have set up to tell it when to send offers, on which items to send offers, and how much off the offer should be. You set it all yourself and then forget it. It also has a feature where I can go in and choose how many items I want that are over 60 days old that I want to relist today. And it does that for me automatically. Posher V8 is great. And I literally made more money this year on Poshmark than the previous 3 years combined. So if you want to try Posher VA, there's a link in the description box. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed my What's Sold. It's a lot harder for me to be entertaining because it's all numbers and dryness. And I am not a numbers and dryness girl. I'm going to go make, I just bought some limes, so I'm going to go make, what would you make with limes and ice cubes? I'm going to go make one of those. I had a great time. I hope you come back. Give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends to subscribe. And I hope to see you next time. Bye, kids.